Hello, everybody. How are you today? My name is stephanieaune, and I have Crohn's disease. Yay! I have late stage, very severe Crohn's disease, and I need a transplant. I have done a video that kind of explains everything about that. I'll put a link down in the description, and if you're interested, you can feel free to check that out. It goes into great detail about what I'm dealing with. So what I'm going to do is just give you an update of what's been happening the last few weeks. I have a total of 19 doctor's visits scheduled, or doctors or labs or, different tests scheduled this month. I am a little bit over halfway through. I still have 9 visits scheduled for next week. Let's see. And this guy, 3, 4, 5. No, I have 6 left next week. And then I have to go see the cardiologist in March. So what they're basically doing is they're checking to see if I'm a candidate for transplant. So I'm going through and I've done an EKG. I've met with infectious disease. I've met with, I've had upper GI, I've had an EKG, if I said that already, I'm sorry, a CAT scan, I had a mammogram in which they found a spot that is concerning. So I get a biopsy on Tuesday of that spot. Now, they don't think that it is something that is cancer because it's a very small mass, but if there is any irregularity, if there is any cancer, basically they have to deal with the cancer first because my body cannot be weakened by other diseases other than the Crohn's disease for transplant. So there's a lot of things, you can't even have a surgery 6 months prior or your body is too weak for transplant. There's too much possibility of infection. Infection is a big thing with this. I also have an endoscopy next week, a meeting with the surgeon, the specialist who would do that. And I hear that that one is pretty brutal to go do. I've had 3 sets of labs. The first time they drew 18 vials, the second time they drew 19. And I'm sure the third time will be just as bad. They check absolutely everything. So they are checking to see if I am eligible for transplant or if I could just do rehabilitation on my intestine. And I don't really see how they're going to get rid of all that scar tissue that's inside of my intestine. But we'll see what they decide. Keep in your hopes that they will do the transplant. Got to see a new general doctor. You basically pick a name out of the hat and hope that this person has a clue as to what you're talking about. And she didn't have much of a clue as to what I was talking about. And on top of it, she doesn't understand why I can't work. I have 19 doctor's visits in the month of February. What job would be okay with that? Much less the pain, much less the incredible fogginess that I have every single day, lack of sleep, medications, and going to the bathroom 20 times a day. It's not a fun disease. That is for sure. Not that any disease is fun. So, next. Unemployment has been denied. I am not able and available to work. Although if they would have told me that 3 months ago, it would have saved a lot of heartache and stress. However, they had me send paperwork to my doctor to find out, why I wasn't there or why I had to quit work. Under doctor's orders, to stop working. So unemployment has been denied. When I went to the unemployment office to try to find out, because they don't tell you anything, and then I couldn't get I cannot get logged into their system. When you go into the unemployment office and you say, I can't get logged in, I can't talk to a human, can somebody please help me and tell me what's going on? And then they tell you that, oh, the system's been down and phones have been down. And so when I went in there to try to get some sort of answer, they came back to me with a folder that had in it how to apply for Social Security disability, which I applied 3 months ago for Social Security disability. By the way, Social Security is 3 months, or I'm sorry, they're 27% done, and it takes an average of 270 days before you get an answer, and you are denied about 95% of the time. So jumping back to the unemployment office, while I was sitting there, so they gave me a flyer for Social Security disability. They gave me a flyer for a soup kitchen. And they gave me a flyer for Catholic Charity. Catholic Charity is not going to pay my car loan. The guy's like, oh, you don't know what they cover. And like, they're not gonna cover my car loan. They gave me a flyer for a soup kitchen. If anybody out there seriously thinks that our system, that people can just live off the system, you're insane. And you have no concept of what the system really is like. The system is incredibly complicated. It is not friendly. They make you feel like a thief. And on top of it, they don't care. Nobody cares. Now, you can find individual people who feel bad for you to be in your situation. Absolutely. Individual people do care. The government doesn't care. And if you think that this government is easy to live off of, I've had no income for 4 months. And the only thing that I get is food stamps, which is SNAP. That's the only thing that I have been able to qualify for. And my doctor told me to not work. And I'm not looking at getting anything from Social Security disability for another, 7 months? So that's no money. So, the great American way is to crowdsource for funding. And here I am, just begging y'all for a little generosity. Anyways. Who needs pride when you live in America? And you're sick. So what happens after I get all of this surgery done? So I will be in the hospital for 2 months up to 6 months. I'll be in ICU for probably at least a week. I'll have a feeding tube in ICU, which is very uncomfortable. And then they will hook me up to TPN, which is IV food, IV nutrition, I should call it. You have to be hooked up to that 12 hours a day. and I will be on TPN for 6 months, at least. That's the average, is 6 months. I will have an ileostomy bag. There is a 15% chance that my body will reject the organ or the organ will reject my body. So they do not let any food go through that new small intestine for at least 6 months. They are making sure that everything's working before they even risk it. So I will not eat any food for 6 months. And then I said the ileostomy bag. I'll have an ileostomy bag, so nothing goes through. Then they will start me on a very bland diet. It'll be no fats, no sugars, no fiber, which I'm already on a zero fiber, no dairy, and no fibers, any fruits or vegetables. That just doesn't exist. So what do you get to eat? Possibly white bread, maybe potatoes. No Jell-O, no pudding, because it has too much sugar in it. So I'll be on that diet for the next 3 months or so, or maybe longer. Not really sure. But for a year, I won't be normal. I won't be eating regular food, and possibly after a year, I'll be able to. But possibly after a year, I won't have pain every single day. So that would be pretty amazing. So, Help Hope Live Foundation, helphopelive.org is where you can donate to help out with medical bills. If you would like to donate to me directly, that would be Venmo me at stephanieaune. helphopelive.org. And then when you get there, you just search my name, Stephanie, middle initial R, Aune, Stephanie R. Aune. And that's how you will get to, that would be a tax-deductible contribution and does not show as income towards me. If you Venmo me, it's possible that Social Security will see that as income. At this point, I have no choice. I have no choice. I'm borrowing money to live, and my credit cards are maxed. And if you want to help out, I'd appreciate it. I do have some paintings that I'd be happy to sell. And if you're interested in any of that, let me know. So that's it. That's the update. At least, at least it's moving. And I'm not sitting in stasis just waiting and waiting and waiting, because it was 3 months of waiting. So at least we're moving forward. Dr. Masimoto, on Thursday, he's the surgeon who does the surgery, and we'll see what he says. Fingers crossed, it's a go. But it's not going to be easy once it's going. It's going to be really. It's a long, difficult road. And again, thank you everybody who's helped. I will link Help Hope Live and my Venmo down in the description. All right. Love y'all. Again, thank you for your donations already, and I truly do appreciate it. I really do. Okay.